Good evening and welcome. I'm Jim Price, President of the ICCFA Educational Foundation. We're pleased to not only have convention attendees in the audience, but also have a great number of suppliers. All together here tonight is a really special evening. Thank you for attending this reception. Following a long afternoon on the expo floor, a great part of our Educational Foundation's success has been due to our association suppliers. So thank you for joining us tonight. We understand that this is an open evening and that many of you are heading to dinner in some of the finest restaurants in Las Vegas. My commitment to all of you is that our event will end at around 6:15, 6:20. And I know that's important to you because you have reservations, and we're so glad you'll be part of us tonight. I can assure you that we all appreciate all of your support of the Education Foundation. We gave an unprecedented 47 scholarships so far this year. It is our goal in 2019 that it be 100. So thank you all for your support and continue to support us. First, I would like to recognize some of our special attendants, and let's start with our honoree, Tom Flynn, right over here. If you are a veteran of the armed services, raise your hand, please. Please know that each and every one of us here are grateful and thank you for your service. As you see behind me here, there's checks displayed. Today we received 2 significant contributions and commitments in ASD Answering Service for Directors and the Zacher family, as well as from Service Corp International. Please join me in thanking them. Today, in the world that we live in, I think most would agree it's different than ever experienced in the past. In this city, in the second week of October last year, there were numerous victims that not only needed medical attention, but also needed support and comfort. LCC Canine Comfort Dog Ministry organization called in 19 trained support canines from all over the United States to be of service to those victims. There was one that resided right here in Las Vegas. Her name is Lois. When the 19 returned home to other states, Lois was here and continued her work to become a local superstar to this community. We would like to acknowledge her service by presenting her the Medal of Recognition and Gratitude. She and her 2-legged friend, Rick, will need to leave now based on another engagement Lois has this evening, and let's all thank Lois for all that she's done and continues to do for causes that we mutually support. Thank you. As successful leaders in our profession, we are all aware it's not about the title and designation. It's about impact and inspiration. Impact is getting results. Influence is about spreading the passion you all have for your work, all while continuing to inspire the next generation of leadership. Our honoree this year is a natural to be celebrated based on his lifelong mentoring and educating of so many individuals in our profession. Tom's dedication to honor those that have died in the name of freedom and teach future generations of the high price of freedom is a testament to his vision, moral code, and character. Ladies and gentlemen, the lasting impact of Tom Flynn.
The ICCFA Educational Foundation presents the 2018 Lasting Impact Award. Reception sponsors. The ICCFA Educational Foundation's Lasting Impact Award was created to recognize individuals who have made significant contributions to furthering professional development and lifelong learning in the funeral, cemetery, and cremation profession. Those that are new to our profession may not be immediately familiar with the name Tom Flynn. Ask anyone who's been in the industry for a while and you'll likely hear words like visionary, innovator, mentor, humble, one of a kind, and the list goes on and on.
Being born of immigrant parents, you don't realize it at the time, but as you mature, you realize that all the hopes and dreams, heartaches of prior generations come to rest on your shoulders. And I was going to make it in this wonderful new land, and I wasn't going to let anything stand in my way.
After Tom graduated from high school at the seminary, he enrolled in Loyola University. He had to drop out due to lack of money, and then got a job moving furniture until he was drafted into the Army.
In the Army, I volunteered to go airborne, which is a paratrooper. And that shaped me up. You don't have any better reputation than the 101st Airborne Division.
After becoming a CPA and establishing a boutique accounting business in Chicago, Tom purchased Homewood Memorial Gardens in southern Chicago. Then in December of 1977, Tom bought Hillcrest Memorial Park in Hermitage, Pennsylvania.
And so I started investing money, and they had a beautiful pool at one time in their fountain, and I put that back together, and had all sorts of moving pieces now. It wasn't static anymore. Tried to do what the big boys did, big cemeteries around the country, to take modern day ideas and bring it there. So we really revolutionized cemeteries around here.
On November 4, 1979, a mob of students took over the American embassy in Tehran, Iran, then held 52 Americans in the embassy as hostages. Tom felt a growing need to draw people's attention to the outrageous situation.
And I was just enraged by the hostage taking. I knew that it was our soil that they had invaded, and you just don't do that. I came up with the idea of raising one American flag.
Tom Flynn came up with a plan to raise 100 flags on the 100th day of the Iranian hostage crisis. Then to raise one more flag every day until the hostages were released, which took place on January 20th, 1981, and totaled 444 flags.
February 11th, 1980. With flagpoles donated by area steel companies and American flags from families of deceased veterans, area steel workers erect 100 flags here at Hillcrest Memorial Park. Go. That night, after a service in the Hillcrest Chapel, a candlelight procession follows Harry and Alice Matrinko of Oliphant, Pennsylvania through the flags. Harry Matrinko lights a flame that can be extinguished by only one person, Harry and Alice's son, Michael, now held hostage in Iran for 100 days.
We had been in Time magazine 6 different times, including 2 weeks after they first went up. And some of them were 3 panels across, took up the whole top of the page. And as it turned out, the day after the hostage is released, we were on the cover of Time magazine. So sometimes you kind of wonder, is there something guiding this whole process? Or am I just, do I just kind of, pick things and I'm lucky enough to have it work out that way?
Though Tom made a national impact like few others do even just once in their lifetime, he was not finished making innovative impacts on our profession. In November of 2000, Tom's life changed forever when Derek graduated from his intensive service dog training at Canine Companions for Independence. Derek was the first CCI-certified grief therapy dog and began an adventure with Tom that included providing support to grieving families at the funeral home. Tom and Derek also worked at cancer care facilities, including the Cleveland Clinic. Derek's finest moment was shortly after 9/11, when he and Tom worked with a program at South Nassau Community's Hospital in New York. His special talents for healing sorrow were apparent during numerous visits with 300 children who had lost family members in the terrorist attack. Derek retired from his work on July 4, 2011. In March of that year, Tom chose Solomon to be Derek's successor in service. Solomon is trained specifically to work with disabled veterans, one of Tom's greatest passions. He also travels with Tom to all conventions, both military and non-military, and as many of you know, is a star at our death care profession events.
I had an idea to build the War on Terror Veterans Memorial. And I started out, with the concept, ran it by a friend of mine. He said, absolutely. So I went and I got a name of a architectural firm in Pittsburgh, IKM. They designed it for me. In driving back with kind of like the early renderings on it, I stopped by a friend of mine named Emil Colladin, who has a construction company right here in town in West Middlesex. And he was a Marine in Korea, Marine captain. So I called him and I said, Emil, I'm working on something, I'm coming back, I'd like you to look at it. And he said, what is it? And I said, it's a military memorial. He said, get over here. So I brought it to him and showed it to him, and he said, can I keep it over the weekend? I said, sure. So Monday morning I'm there, and now he's there with his architect and engineer, his son who now runs the place, his son Greg. And so they're all looking at it. He said, well, we've thought about this, we've talked about it, and we'd basically be honored to do it. What are you shooting for date-wise? And I said, well, I'm shooting for Memorial Day. And he said, oh, now this is like March 1st. He said, you mean next year? And I said, no, I mean this year. He said, that's less than 90 days. And I said, that's your problem. And I gave him a big smile, and he looked at his son, and he looked at everybody else, and he said, gentlemen, if Tom doesn't have his memorial in 90 days, I'm going to fire every one of you guys. And by God, I got my memorial.
Hillcrest Memorial Park has been renamed America's Cemetery to reflect the changes that have been made. It is no longer a static local cemetery, but a dynamic site that truly reflects American culture and tradition, especially in relation to our armed forces.
So what we did is we put America's Cemetery with the tagline, second only to Arlington.
In addition to the countless contributions Tom has made to the profession, he has educated and mentored so many individuals along the way.
But I got the word that I would be the 6th designee as the Lasting Impact Award. And I kind of asked the guy, why me? I mean, they never put me on a board to do anything. I'm not in the inner sanctum. I'm not a team guy. And he said, no, what you have done, with the military and what you have done with dogs. And we have a pet funeral home and crematory at the cemetery. It's the first in the country. So we've managed to do a lot of firsts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in honoring and congratulating Tom Flynn, recipient of the 2018 Lasting Impact Award.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is John Flynn, and I'm a funeral director. I'm the owner of the John Flynn Funeral Home and Crematory in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. And my father has asked me tonight to just say a few words on his behalf. He'd like to express how important and awesome this award is, not only for himself, but to the Flynn family. He would also like to pass this along to everyone. It's not where you are buried, it's where you are remembered. He wants to encourage all of you to expand your horizons and to reach out to your broader markets and be unique. He'd like to thank the ICCFA and the current president, Jim Price, the ICCFA Educational Committee, all of the wonderful people he has met over the years, all of his friends he has made in the industry, and his family for all the love and support over the years. Dad, I'm going to ad-lib here a little bit, sorry. I'm going to keep it under 2 minutes. I was told several times to keep it under 2 minutes. But anyways, if there's one thing I've learned from my dad in this business, working with him in this ever-changing business and everything that he's gone through in the past several years and especially the several months, is to never, never quit. With that, once again, we'd like to thank everyone on behalf of my father and our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank all of you for being here. This has been a great evening. Going to get you out of here around 6:10, and those that want to stay later certainly can. Just one quick request, and we're going to make this all happen in the next 7 or 8 minutes. All veterans that are in the room that want to have a picture, a group picture with Tom back against this wall here, would love for you to all participate in it and make your way this direction. Thank you. Have a great, great evening and a great convention. Thank you very much.
Still fun.
Get closer together. Get tight. That looks good. Looks good. Get in a little more, Hap. There you go. Look at me. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, guys.